Hi everyone, Mike from the Excel Trainer here. One of the problems when entering data into an Excel worksheet is lack of consistency. Take this invoicing system for example. The user types the name of a product and the price is automatically generated using lookup formulas in column C. However, if what's entered into column A doesn't match one of the items in column A in the product sheet, the VLOOKUP formula won't work. You can see here that the price for the t-shirt is missing, and that's because t-shirt spelt without the hyphen doesn't exist in column A on the other sheet. One of the best ways to avoid data entry errors is to create a drop-down list in the cell where the data is to be entered. The user can then select an item from the list instead of typing. In this example, the drop-down list will get its values from A2 to A6 on the product sheet. But what happens when a new product is added to the products list? Stay tuned and I'll show you how it all works. If you want to follow along, you can download a copy of the demo file from the link in the description below. The first step is to go over to the product sheet and convert the list of products into a table. And I can do that by clicking Insert Table or using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl and T. Make sure the settings are correct, it's picked up the correct range and it's ticked My Table has headers, and click on OK. I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's applied formatting and added drop-downs. I can either remove those with options on the table design menu or leave them as they are. But one thing I am going to do is rename the table by going up to the table design menu and changing the table name. So instead of using table 1, which is the default name, I'm going to call it TBL Products. The main benefit of converting a list to a table is that as you add more data, the table automatically resizes. So if I added another product, instead of referring to rows 1 to 6, it'll refer to 1 to 7. Let me show you. I'll type in shorts, and shorts are £8 or dollars, and now the table goes from A1 to B7. That little marker at the bottom of B7 indicates the end of the table. I can't reference the table directly when I create the drop-down list, so I have to use the name manager to assign a regular name, not a table name, to the range that contains the individual items that I want on the drop-down. I need to start by selecting A2 to A7. You've got to select all the individual items and exclude the headings. And then on the Formulas tab, click Name Manager and click New. And what I'm doing is I'm assigning a name to the cells that contain the product names. So it would make sense to call it Product List. And you can see that it's referring to the product column in the table called TBL Products. And that's why I had to select all the items. Otherwise, it won't put that into the refers to box. I then click on OK and close. Then I'm going to go to the order form sheet, select A5 to A12. Those are the cells that I want the drop down arrow to be in. And to create the drop down arrow, on the data menu, go to data validation and set allow to be list, and then set the source to be equals product list. Product list being the name that was assigned to the product column in the products table, and click OK. So now what it's done is it's added a drop down arrow against each one of those cells. And if I click the drop down arrow, it is picking up the items from the range. Now, let's see what happens when I add another item to the products list. So I'll go back to the product sheet and put hoodie, and a hoodie is going to be $25. I'm going to sort the list. I'm just going to click on one cell in column A and click on Home, Sort and Filter, Sort A to Z. Sorting is optional, but it means that the drop-down will list the items alphabetically. So finally, let's go back to the order sheet, select a cell in column A, click the drop down and there is hoodie. So to summarise, the range containing the items for the drop-down list needs to be in a table. Then select all the cells containing the items for the drop-down and assign a name to the selected range using the name manager. The name refers to all the items in the specified column of the table. Select the cells that you want the drop-down to be added to and use data validation. Set it to list and specify the name that you assign to the range containing the items. Because the range is a column in a table, as new items are added, the table grows, and the name range grows with it. Did you find this video useful? If you did, please give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to keep up to date with what I'm up to, why not sign up to my weekly newsletter? And you can do that at theexceltrainer.co.uk. But until the next time, have an excellent day.